morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's having a beautiful morning. Hope your night was great. Eagles football, as you can see, 10-3 over the Packers. That was a great, unbelievable game. Drive me nuts, but whatever. I fell asleep early, man. That game had me stressed out. Oh. But I want to show this.
You have African American rappers saying N-word bit.
I can't hear it for some reason. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Hold on. Give me a second.
In America, when someone falls ill, people say, "Get well soon." In England, they
So I want to show you that these are done. 48 care packs for the homeless. 48. Dropping that off today. Thanks for all the donations. So that's 48 care packs. Oh.
Grip, stability, precision. That's the essence of driving. Lawfin.
Open a whole new world of fascinating places and people for just $39. Just want to bring you.
Here's something I want to talk about today, if that's cool. This transgender thing in the Olympics. Coaching for a long time, I think I have a right to speak upon this. To be honest, I don't agree with it, but let the professionals decide. Good morning, Rabbits. Today I want to talk about transgender in the military. I mean, not in the military, in the Olympics. I don't believe they should be in there. I think women should compete against women and men should compete against men. My opinion, but let's listen to Sky News. This show's for education, entertainment purposes only. I don't own there's rights to this, but Fair Use Act.
A different breaking story. Sky News understands the
This belongs to Sky News.
International Olympic Committee is moving to
We're going to do a nice reaction to this.
Towards a blanket ban on transgender women from women's sport. Let's bring in our sports correspondent, Rob Harris. Rob, there have been many, many people who've been campaigning for this for quite.
Now, listen, I don't wish any bad on transgender. I think if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to be. God bless. I'm just saying that coaching a long time and watching kids, young boys, girls, watching what they've went through and how hard it is enough to play against people of your own, gender. It's a lot difficult, and it becomes more than that. It becomes more bullying, and people make fun of. I think they should have their own Olympics if that's what they want, but I don't think it should be forced onto kids and parents. Like I said, that's my opinion, and this is a reaction.
A while. Explain to us what it means.
This is a notable shift in position from the International Olympic Committee. Previously, they'd left it to individual sports to decide whether or not transgender women could compete in women's sport. But now Sky News understands that the International Olympic Committee is moving towards a blanket ban on transgender women competing in women's events. We also understand that there's been discussions about reintroducing sex testing, something that existed in the 60s until the...
Well, there you go. Existed in the 60s. So now they're bringing that back. So, of course, they're going to blame Trump for this, but at the end of the day, this was the way it was in the 60s, because back then, maybe there weren't that many transgender, but at the end of the day, why should a boy play against a girl when boys are stronger? I just think it's ridiculous. I mean, that doesn't mean that you are racist or you feel any way towards trans or you're, in a hate mission. Doesn't mean any of that.
Late 90s. Now, the IOC is taking this decision or moving towards it because so many other sports are. Athletics, swimming,
Swimming, cycling, athletics. Listen, they're all thinking about it because you know what? It's true.
Amongst those who have decided to ban transgender women from women's events. Now, this is because of concerns about competitive advantages. I understand that last week IOC members were briefed by the medical chief of the IOC, Dr. Jane Thornton, that there are advantages in sporting terms from having those physical advantages having gone through male puberty, and that's created concerns about the women's sport category. There is a new IOC president, Kirsty Coventry, who told me just after her election in March she was looking towards about protecting the women's sport category, and now it looks like we could get a decision ahead of the LA Olympics in 2028. It does follow pressure from the US President Donald Trump, who spoke about this on the campaign.
Like I said, they'll blame him for everything. I mean, here we go.
Trail then, after getting into office, signed an executive order banning transgender women from women's sport in the United States. He vowed to end the war on women's sport, as he put it. He said he would deny visas to athletes trying to compete at the LA Olympics in women's categories if they had gone through male puberty. Now, I also understand that there could also be a ban on athletes with differences of sex development also being prohibited from women's events. Now, if we think back to the Paris Olympics in 2024, there were no transgender women that we know of competing, but there was a very high-profile case in boxing. Amar Khalif, the Algerian, won gold in women's boxing. It was said she'd failed sex test in the past at a contested world boxing event. She insisted she was born a woman and lived as a woman, but certainly her case brought this issue into the spotlight. New rules in world boxing meant she would not go through the sex testing that were required, so she hasn't taken part in recent events. So she is someone who could potentially be excluded from the Olympics going forward under all these policies. But a decision would have to be taken by the International Olympic Committee's main session. That won't be in time for the Winter Olympics in Italy in February, but also IOC members are set to be discussing this more going down the line. I have just had a comment from the International Olympic Committee that they do say that an update was given by the IOC medical director to IOC members last week at the commission meetings. The working group is continuing its discussions on this topic and no decisions have been taken yet. So there is still a working group looking at this issue, but as things stand now, Sky News understands the International Olympic Committee is moving towards introducing a blanket ban on transgender women competing in women's sporting events.
just want to bring you
Thank
a different.
you, Sky News. I appreciate that. Look, what I feel is that it's plain and simple. I mean, a lot of people don't want to have the conversation because you're ridiculed, you're called whatever. My thing is this, though, right? I believe that the International Olympic Committee is obviously feeling pressure. And the international does not mean just the United States. That means other countries. I mean, a lot of other countries don't believe in that. My thing is, why should we have to have young girls, or it's bad enough to have to, play against their peers or whatever you want to call it, and then you put a boy involved who's stronger. But yet if you speak out about it, then YouTube's cutting your time, maybe Facebook, whoever. Your speech is limited because that's not what people want to hear, because everybody's supposed to bend to the knee. Look, when it comes to politics, I've seen a lot of Democrats and Republicans on this issue, seem to come to an agreement. I think it's more, look, whatever people do, you do. But when it comes to sports and Olympics, nah, man, I think it's ridiculous. I don't understand it. I think that you shouldn't be able to do that. Have your own thing. Do your own thing. I mean, I believe that it's a touchy topic and a lot of people don't have that discussion, but I just did. So, anyway, I got to get down to drop these care packs off today. So I just wanted to jump on here and talk about that because it's something that means something to me as a coach. Most of the coaches out there that I know, they don't agree with it. Even every time we played a sport and we went against another team in another area, it was the consensus. There was no mixing of that because it's not good for kids as it is. They have enough to deal with, but some people just think that it's just okay to give in and just do what people think so you don't have any blowback. To me, that means you're weak. You can be respectful and state your point and your opinion without being But anyway, I got to get rocking and rolling. I'm tired today. So I'll put some other content when I get situated. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Take care. Stay blessed, not stressed. Let God handle the rest. Hit that like button and don't worry about it, man. Life goes on. There's good days, there's bad days. It's the days that you keep going are the ones that count. The ones that give up,